Hey guys, and welcome back to Misha's Corner. Also, welcome to round 2 of my round 1 recipe, my rum raisins. Today we'll be making some rum and raisin coconut ice cream. So let's get started. I guess honestly at this point you could use a mixing machine, but I'm going to use as less machines as possible just to make some ice cream. So to your 6 egg yolks, you're going to add 2/3 cup of sugar. This part, I'm just going to beat it up for maybe 10 seconds so you guys can see what I'm doing. But you need to do this for about 2 minutes so it can get nice and pale in color before we add the rest of the ingredients. And I'll come back when I'm like halfway there, and then I'll come back again once it's nice and pale in color. Alright guys, so this is about the 1.5 minute mark. You want to keep going. You want it even paler than that. It should be nice and like ribbons. You should get like ribbons just like that. I'm going to keep going for another minute and then we're going to add everything else. Alright guys, so this is what you end up with. It got even thicker and now it's really pale in color. Hopefully the camera is picking that all up. So for me, I realize a lot of people do the whole temper method. I feel as if it's the same thing as making like, you know, a custard for pudding or something like that. It all works out the same. So I'm going to add my 2 cups of heavy cream. We're going to put everything down in here and then we're going to slowly bring it up to temperature on the stove. We're going to add 2 cups of milk. We're going to start this in a cold pot, not a cold pot, but a pot that's not heated. And then we're going to slowly bring it up to temperature until it thickens, and then we're going to spice it up. So that's 2 cups of heavy cream, 2 cups of whole milk. Mix this in gently. Now we're going to move on over to the stove. Alright guys, so I have my mixture here in my pot. And I have my stove on medium low. This is going to take quite a while. It's probably going to take 10 to 15 minutes just to come up to temperature. Do not boil this custard. You want it to get up to temperature, like you're going to start seeing bubbles. When you start seeing bubbles, pretty much you're done. Cut the stove off. But do not let this have a rolling boil or you're going to ruin it. So when it's like halfway or even up to temperature on mine, I'll come back and let you guys see what it looks like. You have to constantly stir this. If you're using a steel pot, constantly use your whisk, and you just have to stand there or get a chair and pull up. Alright guys, so I finally saw my bubbles going, so now we're going to spice this up. I'm going to add a pinch of salt down in there. You're going to add a teaspoon of, half a teaspoon of coconut, imitation coconut flavoring. That's a half a teaspoon. You're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. If you have access to vanilla bean pods, go right ahead and use it. I wish I did, but I don't. You're going to add a tablespoon of vanilla down in there. We're going to mix this up. Mine custard looks perfect from here. However, I am going to still strain this to make sure it's extra super smooth. Just to make sure we have no bits and pieces down in here and nothing going on. Alright guys, so from here I'm going to strain my mixture. Without making a mess. We're going to allow this to cool down. Then we're going to transfer it to the refrigerator. As you can see, I don't have much of anything in my strainer. And I would hope you guys wouldn't have much of anything either. But again, you could always strain it out. You're going to transfer this to the refrigerator. And then we're going to allow it to cool all the way down. Preferably overnight. And then we're going to pop it into the ice cream machine and add the rum and the raisin. Alright you guys, so my mixture, as you can see here, is really, really thick. It's like pudding. Make sure it's super, super cold. It needs to be cold before you even put it in your machine. These are my raisins. I drained off a 1/3 cup of my raisins over here in this bowl, so you want to reserve that. We're going to pour it right down in there. So before we do that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of the rum mixture down into your custard. Just like that. That's 2 tablespoons. You don't want to add too much alcohol because you guys know alcohol does not freeze. However, if you use it sparingly in your ice cream, it's going to freeze. Then you want to take your raisins and add it down in here. This is a little bit more than a 1/3 cup. I'm going to mix this in and see where I'm at. The raisins got so nice and plumped and ooh. I didn't taste one though. I want to. I'm very tempted, but I'm not going to do it. So now I'm going to put my machine together. The inner part of my machine. Make sure you go by your manufacturer's instructions. The machine part have been in my freezer for the same time as my custard has been in the fridge, which is 24 hours. So now we're going to put it all together. Alright, so on my machine, it requires for me to turn it on before pouring my liquid down in there. So that's what I'm going to do. And mine's automatically have 20 minutes on there. So like I said, just make sure you read. Make sure you read your manufacturer's instructions. I'm going to pour this down in there. Alright, so in 20 minutes we're going to check on it and see what we have. Alright guys, so my ice cream is finished as far as the machine is concerned. Now you want to put this in your fridge, freezer, wherever, in an airtight container. Let me get rid of this paddle. I'm very unprepared. So you're just going to take it. I'm going to use the exact same container that I used to pour it in there. I washed it out, dried it really, really good. Oh, this looks so creamy. Like, this is good to go now as is. It's basically like a gelato at this point. But I want it to really freeze up, so I'm going to put it in my freezer and let it do what it does. Make sure you taste it too to make sure. You can also taste your custard before you actually put it in the freezer. I mean, before you put it in your machine. Because you might want more flavoring in there, but mine was good to go. I stuck with what I had. I'm going to close this up and put it in the freezer and let it harden up. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, so this is what my ice cream looks like after about 8 hours in the freezer. I am going to put it back so it can sit overnight, but I wanted to end my video before doing that. If you follow me on social media, you will see what it looks like after 24 hours. It's nice and creamy. It's actually almost there, almost set up, but you know, so I'm going to try it. First of all, these raisins, the raisins make this ice cream. Like, look how creamy this is. And then you bite into the raisin and you get like a little shot, a little taste of the alcohol. I'm never buying ice cream from a store ever again. I hope you guys give this a try. The recipe is on my website. The link will be in my description box. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.